Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
And we are less than 10 days?
We're 9 days away.
9 days away from leaving for Star Wars Celebration Chicago. With SWCC, right?
SWCC, yeah.
So, we're getting excited. We're getting
Anxious is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out.
So we've got what we're planning on doing is we'll obviously get through some Star Wars Celebration news and stuff here today. This is a brand new month. It's the month of April. We had talked about a couple episodes ago about starting our journey to episode 9. Again, doing what we did a couple years ago, but minus the commentaries. We're just going to really focus on each episode, film episode, Skywalker episode, each month, these next 8 months leading up to episode 9. So naturally, you would start with episode 1, which is fitting because it is the 20th anniversary.
Right.
There's a panel at Celebration about it. So we'll throughout this month talk a little bit about episode 1. But there is a lot of stuff to talk about, especially when we do our show at Celebration.
Right.
So we'll fit it in, but definitely got some good plans and stuff to talk about each film as we go on. So that's what we'll do. We'll talk a little Resistance too this episode. We'll talk Queen Shadow a little bit as well. So, Case, what do you want to say about Celebration? Get a drink, yeah.
My throat's been a little scratchy lately, but geez, I am very excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but man, this lottery business has got everybody up in a tizzy.
Yes,
it's just kind of crazy. I mean, there's just a lot of information going out there. So if you're still confused about entering lotteries or registering for panels or anything like that, I mean, you're in the boat of dozens or hundreds. I don't know how many people. I mean, I'm on Reddit. I'm on all these chats about the lottery, and so for every one person that has a question, there's like 20 people that have the same question.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nuts. I myself, with our group, am trying to get into this lottery because I, unfortunately, was one of the many eager people on Friday when they finally opened the lotteries. Me and Cody Geiler, as soon as it opened, we hopped on and tried to walk through the process. But after hearing about a lot of the complications people were having with the exhibitor lotteries, I thought, how hard can it be? We're going to take this one step at a time and go through this, make sure we don't screw up, because I kept hearing people are getting screwed out of the lottery because they're entering incorrectly.
right.
Which it's crazy to think that would happen. But so we logged into the lottery page. You either have two options. You either enter as yourself as an individual, or you enter as a group. But on the group side, you could either do the option of I have a group code, or I don't have a group code. So naturally, I chose I don't have a group code. And if, a lot of you guys listening out there probably are thinking yes, I know what you're going to say. So I don't have a group code. So I typed in my email address that my badge is registered under. Our tickets are different than a lot of everybody else's tickets, whereas we didn't buy our tickets.
Correct.
Ours were given to us by Repop and Lucasfilm for the podcast. And so what we had to do is, this is tangent, but we had to essentially submit our email addresses to be attached to those badges. So everybody else,
as if we had bought them.
So everybody else, you use the email address that you use to buy your tickets or the confirmation code, but email address is easier. So entered my email, it worked. I got the group code, and I can choose now which lottery I want to enter. So I have the group code. I chose Friday, for episode 9. Entered, great. Gave the code to Cody. He entered, used the code, used his email address, entered Friday. Great, we're in there. And then, everybody else, you're in a meeting. This is end of the day. This is 5:30, end of the day. So everybody's busy. So like, oh, let's go ahead and let's just go through the other lottery. So I go to the back to the lottery. As soon as you get to the end of the lottery page, it says, "Do you want to submit into a different lottery?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Hit that button. Takes me back to the welcome page. I choose instead of choosing I don't have a group code. I'm like, "Oh, I do have a group code. I was given one. All right, I have a group code." Did that. Did my email address. Then I choose a Saturday lottery, and then I'm in. But suddenly, and Cody does it at kind of the same time. But suddenly we noticed, wait, you have 6 spots available in your group, but all of a sudden, 4 of them are taken. So we're like thinking, did we just use up 2 extra spots in our group? And we did. We ended up we did. So and then we
basically each group code has 6 spots.
Yes. And apparently you're allowed to either use that group code, those 6 spots for just one panel, or you can spread it out over all panels, which that part doesn't make sense to me. And talking to Celebration, talking to GrowTix, the company in charge of the lottery, they even tell me, and they're telling people that you need to. It's best if you use one group code per panel per lottery, so that you can maximize the 6 spots. Well, yeah, that makes sense, and that's great. That's the way you set up. Awesome, but they don't prevent you from using that group code across all 6 panels. Therefore, you are limiting actually the amount of spots you can. Right. So, needless to say, we're kind of in trouble. So, not end of the world, because you guys. So basically, me and Cody entered Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just so that we're at least in it in case something bad happens. But Dave, you, Corey, and Adam, another friend of ours who's actually been on the show. It's been a while, but
yeah.
You guys can still enter the lottery just as a separate group. Now, that just doesn't, first of all, that doesn't guarantee that all of us will win. So either your group can win and mine can lose, or vice versa. Also doesn't guarantee that we'll sit with each other. So
yes.
So not the end of the world, but it's not the best scenario to be in. But I've talked to GrowTix. I've talked to Celebration. I've been told this can be fixed. So Sunday morning, GrowTix told me that they can take me out of the lottery. All will be well. But now we're recording this Tuesday night, and I still haven't heard anything. I've called, emailed every day. I still haven't heard anything. I did read on Reddit that someone was able to get through and get themselves removed from the lottery. So at least there's one success story out there. But yeah, I'm going to be calling tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. How, there's no way for you to check right now?
I mean, several times today.
Because there's no way to look at the status, is there? Or
so that's another flaw, which you would think is fundamental. And I don't want to just crap all over people who are in charge of this, but it is kind of annoying. But there's no way for you to look at your entries in lotteries and see which ones you've been entered.
And there's no way to manually change it.
And modify it. Yeah, you can't modify it, which is annoying. Now, if you decide you don't want to go to the lottery, go to that panel, or you just can't go to Celebration at this moment, no, you can't remove yourself manually. But let's say you were chosen, but you don't claim that winning ticket, that winning lottery, that after a while it goes away, expires, and it goes to the next person in line. But, excuse me. But no, so we have basically all day Wednesday to try to fix this.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, crazy, man.
Crazy. Yeah. So lotteries are open. And apparently they're another little bit of confusion. They're what it looks like they're open through April 4th.
Right.
Till 11:59 Central Time. So that is, we're on the Eastern Time. So it's actually 12:59 on our side.
Yeah, which is kind of good.
Kind of good.
Yeah.
So we have all day Wednesday, all day Thursday now to figure out what or to get in. And everybody out there listening, it's your chance to get in. And this is only for lottery panels, which are the morning panels.
Yeah,
there's
Thursday
only 4 of
Monday.
them. Yeah, there's only
Friday through Monday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Right.
Monday, we're talking about episode 9, Galaxy's Edge, Mandalorian, and episode 1. So those 4 panels, the only ones that are doing lottery. The other panels will be a reserve queue line
Yeah.
that's going to be through the app.
Well, only the Twin Suns and Galaxy stage will be that reservation through the app. Celebration stage will not have any sort of reservation. It's just a normal. You just walk in and you can queue up for that.
Right.
The other stages, like our podcast stage, fan stage, university stage, no reservations. You just walk in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see the size of the celebration stage and about walk-ins because it is massive. It's the biggest theater I think since Anaheim. Anaheim was pretty big too.
And I saw somewhere. I don't know where it came from. I think it was must have been on a Reddit thread, but the capacity of Wintrust Arena, where Celebration Stage is, the capacity is 10,000 ish. But I think I read somewhere that they are using about 7,000 of those seats.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
And if you combine Galaxy Stage and Twin Sun Stage, that's another like 3,000. Mm-hmm. So ultimately 10,000. But again, like you just said, the Celebration Stage is the largest we've ever seen, and I still feel confident that if you enter when you enter as well, that we will get chosen for the lottery. But
yeah.
But still, there's always that chance.
Well, at least one of them. Maybe not the celebration. That's the thing.
That's true. Yeah. I feel pretty confident. But that's the thing with the lottery. There's always that chance. It's out of your hands. That's what's a huge thing that's missing is that ability. Or if I have control.
So would you rather have gotten in line?
For those panels, yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too.
I do like the reservation aspect of it. So like during the day, I can reserve the other panels.
Yeah.
And enjoy myself, so I don't have to wait in line. So that is nice.
Yeah.
But those panels, so the Galaxy stage and Twin Suns stage, that reservation opens on April 11th. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's the start of Celebration.
The start of Celebration.
And you can use the app. There's a link on the website, or if you're at Celebration, there are kiosks there, very much like the Fast Pass.
Yeah, the app is not available yet.
So it's still not there, but. Crazy! They're really having us on the edge of our seats with this celebration.
Yeah,
so far. We haven't even got to the panels yet.
No,
I'm already anxious.
Yeah, it's been really slow rolled, a lot slower than the other one. So I hope it turns out. A couple of other tidbits about Celebration. They did announce a exclusive cover for Queen's Shadow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is going to be released at Celebration. And then I think there was there is a did I read somewhere? I think I read somewhere you can get an exclusive patch if you show that you have pre-ordered Alpha Squadron.
Alphabet Squadron. Yes. Yeah, any kind of pre-order. So if you got
which
on your phone or whatever.
I already have.
So you'll get it
on Audible. Which counts. You just got to show them the receipt. You'll get a brand new patch. Pretty cool. We'll try to do that. Star Wars show announced they will be live. I think that was inevitable. Everybody kind of knew that.
Yeah.
Typically, what they've done is they've inside the vendor room, back in the corner or somewhere in there. There's a big stage. Mm-hmm. That's where they're live streaming most of or all of their stuff. It's Andy and Anthony on the stage, and they have guests come out, and the crowd's behind it. It's a really cool atmosphere.
One of the cool things that they have updated on the website is the maps,
which I haven't really looked at yet.
So if you go to Celebration's website, they'll have
I do need to look at that.
Few pages. They show you pretty good layout of the show floor, so you'll see where Star Wars live show is, and then they show kind of a level by level of everything else. Yeah. This is good. Help you map out your routes. And the queuing is interesting. I say queuing, but really just arriving to the Wintrust Arena and the other stages, it's all very separate. The Wintrust Arena is completely separate. It's attached by, I think it's, by a covered walkway area, but it is separate from the main part of McCormick. So the Wintrust Arena there's a separate way to enter the Wintrust Arena. So if we're selected for the lottery, we will be going through a separate entrance essentially. And then you'll see on the map. There's a place that tells you where to go, tells you where to line up if you're for the show floor, the VIP section as well. There's a different area, so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool map.
Another thing that was discussed or released last week that I thought was really neat is this massive mural that's being unveiled at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
They have released the original trilogy portion of this. Now, this whole thing, which was the brainchild of Kathleen Kennedy and talked to Vice President and Executive Creative Director Doug Chang, this mural she wanted something that was, encapsulating the entire saga. And this thing came about, which is a 10-foot tall, 88-foot long mural, which includes all the films, and not just the films, but also the animated series, including Episode 9 will be in this. So Clone Wars, Rebels, all that stuff's in there. It tells just a huge story, obviously. I don't think I don't know where this thing is going to be, unless it's just going to be on canvases and just kind of laid out. I don't know. But it is, what you can see is the original trilogy part of it, and it is gorgeous. It's got, A New Hope and Empire and Jedi and just the it looks like poster art, but and they are going to sell different types of merchandise with this stuff on there. I've already seen like shirts and blankets and posters and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so funny. I as I said that, I'm thinking, I'm not even kidding. Like, I think it was last night. I'm just sitting on the couch real late. I'm like, I just want to see what's on. And Spaceballs was on.
Oh, wow. On TV.
On Sundance Channel.
Nice. Yeah.
And so I turned it on, and right when I turned it on is when they were wandering in the desert.
Yeah.
And they come across yogurt, and then he's like, merchandising. That's what I just thought of.
Merchandising.
Like I was about to say, so they got merchandising on this mural.
That's all it is, man. Yep.
What a hilarious movie. I mean, it's funny how he even says it's like, I'm a keeper of a higher magic. Is it the Force? No. It's like they just tried. I don't know. It's so funny.
It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. So the mural, well, I'm curious to see that whole thing. I'm really looking forward to that. Another announcement, which was pretty neat, an audio book only coming at the end of this month, actually.
Yes.
Called Star Wars Dooku, Jedi Lost. It's a short digital story. I think it's only about 4 or 5 hours long. Mm-hmm. But the really cool thing I thought was that it's actually done by a full cast.
Right.
It's not just narrated by like Mark Thompson or something.
He's
in there, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he is. But I've always kind of thought, as I listened to all these audiobooks, like, I know it costs a lot of money, but I was thinking, God, it'd be neat to have like a full cast or several voices. Maybe not one or two, but several. But it's very interesting. It follows. I think it follows Ahsoka, or not Ahsoka. Asajj Ventress as she discovers why he left the Order.
Yeah, it's. I think. Actually, I don't want to read into it, but I thought I read somewhere that Dooku assigned her that task of figuring out what they have on him. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be totally wrong about that.
Oh,
but she's in. This is set where she's his apprentice.
Yes, this is early Clone Wars. I think early Clone Wars. So it's kind of, because he leaves the Order. We're kind of assuming that he left the Order around 10 years before Episode 2, right around Episode 1 in a sense, or right before. But we haven't fully, I don't think, been told that. So I don't know.
I'm very excited about this. So you're right. This is filling a big gap to me.
Yeah.
And Dooku's past and his history. Because we know he's part of the Lost 20, essentially, right? Is that
Yes.
still canon? The 20?
Yes, the Lost 20. Yep. He was the last. I'm thinking.
I think so. But yeah, this is. I think it's huge, and yeah, the fact that it's a.
Well, is it actually is Ahsoka 21?
I think that's what we kind of talked about, but
Yeah,
I don't know if
maybe
that's official.
no. Well, this kind of segues into, I'll talk about Queen Shadow then a little bit because, Queen Shadow, I just finished that up end of last week. And again, audiobook was really good. Catherine Tabor voices it. So it's good hearing Padme tell a story of Padme. And like I kind of said last week, it's very, very political. There's not a lot of action in the book. It truly is Padme figuring out how to be a senator. Meeting people and figuring them out. So she's meeting Bail, she's meeting Mothma, she's meeting. Oh gosh, I can't believe I'm forgetting names, but they're. Well, she meets Clovis, and I can't remember the other Bentari or something like that.
I know
Senator Bentari.
yeah.
But anyway, so she's meeting these people. You actually meet them in the Clone Wars eventually. But she's getting to know these people, and she's figuring out who's who's on which side, and of course, it's Palpatine there. But which was really neat to know is, again, there's that 10-year gap. This roughly takes place 4 years after Episode 1. And I think it only lasts about 6 months to a year, right, in this book. So, two things I took away from that time period. One, really neat because we don't know, is that because of what she did as queen in Episode 1, now that she's become a senator, like all these senators, that's all they know of her is this kind of this pouting child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because think about it, a lot of them didn't believe her, right? They didn't believe that the Trade Federation was taking over her planet, right? So, so they and the fact that she ousted Valorum, got her own senator Palpatine from Naboo in the chancellor seat. So of course, everybody's just looking at her like, she's not real, she's not she's not serious.
Good point.
You know what I mean? It's really neat to get that part of it. And then, of course, the other side of it, I'm really curious because there was, spoiler a little bit, but this is not, it's not nothing to do with the plot because none of this is in the plot is what I'm saying. What's missing to me in this book, and maybe because it hasn't happened yet, but there is no mention of a separatist movement yet.
Right.
Which I would think at this point it's happening, right? But we don't. Again, we don't know when Dooku left,
right?
And we don't know when he turned. We don't know when he started. Gathering all the separatist leaders, like the Banking Clan, and the Trade Federation, Techno Union. It's like,
yeah.
Who knows? But I was hoping. On the sessions, in the book, that they were going to mention something like that, like there's a crisis going on, or some of these planets are leaving. But it seems like it's normal working government right now, And Palpatine is just in his first term, right? Because he hasn't been reelected yet. So I don't know. It was interesting because it seems like maybe it hasn't gone bad yet, and maybe that whole 10 years. It wasn't bad, It was it was literally only a couple years before Episode 2 that things, started becoming bad in the Senate. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting my way through that audiobook, but I'm very surprised to hear that. The separatists and the CIS and all that stuff hasn't really made the Confederacy hasn't really made a thing yet.
Yeah,
been a thing yet because Episode 2 they're very much well established.
Yes.
Dooku is well known to be the separatist
leader. Yeah. And then of course you get to that whole thing with Obi-Wan showing up on Kamino, and they've been building these cloning these soldiers for 10 years. So it's like you would think Sifo-Dyas, which is, I guess he made it or not, but he discovered, and again, I got to fully watch those episodes again where somehow he either found out or he just got pawned into being the Jedi that took the name of the one that created, even though Dooku's the one that created it, the clone army. But it's like that whole thing, took place around episode 1 or shortly after episode 1. So you would think Dooku had left by then and had started recruiting systems. But, maybe it took them a while till they discovered it was him. And, of course, no one – that's the thing, too, is I don't think when this whole thing is happening, I don't think anybody is thinking that they're evil.
Right.
It's like they just want to govern themselves in a sense, right? So it's kind of like a civil war in a sense where it's like, well, we don't want to be a part of the Senate, the galactic, republic. We want to be the Confederate of Independent Systems.
Yeah.
And, at some point, I don't know when it didn't get hostile, obviously, until Geonosis.
Well, that's honestly, that's a big thing that I'm just kind of realizing now, because one reason why I veered off from Queen's Shadow audiobook is because I breezed through the Thrawn Alliance's audiobook. Oh. There was a little brief moment in there where, it was very brief, but it just made me think, where one of the characters is a Duke from Sereno, from Dooku's planet, but he's on...
that's right.
On Batu, or I think one of the moons of Batu, or something like that. But anyways, he mentions, just a brief line, he mentions to Anakin or to Padme that the Confederacy will win, kind of a thing, and maybe a Dooku will allow the Republic to still be a thing, be a small part. So it just got me thinking, like, well, there has to be a time where you have the Confederacy is existing the same time as the Republic. Like, they rose up and now they've established themselves. They are a legitimate government. And I got to think, like, so could there have been just two governments in the galaxy? I mean, some galaxy's a big place, so why not?
Right.
And then at what point did that become a violent war? And I guess really, that, like you said, that is Geonosis.
Yeah.
Because as you're going through, thinking back through episode 2, they don't think much of the Separatists, especially Count Dooku. He's an idealist, not a murderer kind of thing, political idealist. So it's just another government faction out there that's, they're kind of annoying, obviously, but that they exist, and that's their right to exist. But now they're...
Yeah, and I think at that point, he's gained, like it says in the crawl episode 2, like several thousand stars. At that point, he's gathered so many different unions and different planets. He's really making a case to separate, and of course Palpatine, if he was truly saying what he believed, he was saying, I'm not going to let a government that stood for 1,000 years be torn apart, but be split in two. But that's what they're proposing. But they're not proposing war. Mm-hmm. At least it doesn't ever come across that. Mm-hmm. It just comes across that if Dooku, basically to the layperson, no one that's a Jedi or obviously on the Sith side that knows what's going on, but just think of a normal senator in the Republic. You're thinking, okay, this group wants to separate, from the Republic, and they're kind of amassing their own army, but not necessarily for war, just for protection. So like they're getting all these droids, the droid armies. Of course, they have again, you have no idea that the clones are being made to defend the Republic. Mm-hmm. But, of course, when that happens, and it's Geonosis that happens, and it gets unveiled that, the Republic is ready to defend itself and not split and, not call. I mean, it ends up being a civil war, right? Yeah. I mean, it's a civil war.
Yeah, even though it didn't get violent or hostile until Geonosis, it still would have been nice, if not Queen's Shadow, to see how that even became. Like, it's just maybe it's not an interesting, conflicting story, but I still want to know.
Yeah, and that's another thing is, I think the book is set up to continue that story,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I feel like it's coming. Something like that could be coming.
I think it would be great if Padme had her own trilogy.
Yeah, totally.
There's 10 years there, so definitely you can
Yeah.
leave that up.
And I think it's foreshadowing a little bit because the cover has her as her episode 2
Yeah.
personality, right? I mean,
Even the alternate or the celebration exclusive cover, that's her in her
that's in her episode
2
2.
outfit.
Yeah.
The white.
So I thought
outfit.
the book was going to span the whole time, but it doesn't. So
Yeah.
maybe there's a couple books after it. And it.
That'd be cool.
And again, what's really neat too is even though Padme's in it, a lot of the book is about Sabe, who Keira Knightley played in episode 1, her kind of first lieutenant or first handmaiden in a sense. But it's a lot about her story more so, and the way it ends is kind of her story as well. So it's pretty neat. It's a pretty good book. I was pretty happy with it. I would probably, E.K. Johnston also did Ahsoka. I'd probably put this right above Ahsoka. I mean,
Really?
Ahsoka was good too, but this was really, really good, I thought.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Very
go
good.
check that out. We will. I'll just go ahead and say it. I want to be giving away a copy of it at Celebration. Hopefully, if I get the exclusive one, it'll be that one.
Yeah.
But either way, we'll be giving away one of those copies for you guys.
Yeah, I don't know if they've talked about how you can get like a Master and Apprentice. I think they've already established where you can get in line to get a wristband, which will guarantee you an exclusive copy that you can pick up later. I don't know if they've said something like that for a Queen's Shadow exclusive copy or not, but I think after we post this, I know Del Rey is putting out their signings and kind of their plan for the weekend. So be on the lookout for that if you want to try to nab some exclusive books and stuff.
Love it. Okay, let's talk a little Resistance.
Yeah.
The Resistance wrapped up last week. Season finale has obviously been renewed for a second season, which will debut this fall. It looks like it's still going to stay on Disney Channel and not go to the streaming service per se.
Makes sense, I guess.
I mean, they're going to keep some on
keep
television.
something there.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to keep some on television, I'm sure. Obviously, it'll probably retire to Disney Plus. I'm assuming the first season will end up on Disney Plus. But I got to say, I'll say first that I think overall the season was pretty good. It like Rebels, I felt like it started a little slow, picked up after the mid-season. Because the first part of the season was a lot of introduction, and the second season was a lot more story, a lot more into what Kaz is doing, a lot more what the First Order is doing. And then the season finale. I don't think the season finale. It was definitely cool and surprising, but I feel like a lot more people kind of got a lot more excited than I did about it because of the reveal. I wasn't. I mean, I guess it was the ship. I mean,
that's why I picked up too, the shocking reveal or whatever.
I thought I missed something with one of the characters, but I went back and looked at it. And I was like, no,
Colossus was actually a big old ship.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Cool. I definitely enjoyed it. Like you just said, it was a slow burn starting off. Even the first half of the second season kind of started slow, but it picked up. A few episodes in there, it picked up quite a bit, and I was completely on board. As soon as it got more, First Order got more involved, and it was more like a spy kind of espionage and undercover, kind of stuff where Kaz was getting in there, disguising himself as First Order trooper, and people were getting captured, people were fighting, and it got more mature, more violent, which is not what I look for in the show, but the maturity of the contents definitely adds and allows for more complexity in the characters, I think. I mean, not to say that one can go without the other, but the stories definitely got more complex, and I think Kaz got more complex, and Yeager, and all the other characters, especially Tam, got way more complex, and I loved it, and seeing her battle. So I think where it ended, I am completely looking forward to 100% season 2. And and just the fact that it's overlapping the movies now and moving past
That
the
was
movies,
really cool.
That's very exciting. Like, this show is in that sense breaking ground already. Seeing Starkiller Base in that speech from Hux was really cool.
Well, we saw Hosnian Prime destroyed again.
And we always knew Kaz's. Maybe he said he was a sinner. I just didn't pick up on it. His father, but I knew his father.
Think he is, yeah.
We knew
he's in politics.
Yeah, we knew his. We got that much. I must have missed it that he was a senator, but they said it several times in the last couple episodes that he's son of a senator, and then just them just kind of refreshing our minds on his family and where they're from, and then Kaz's reaction to Hosnian Prime getting blown up. That was emotional for me. Like, that was really cool. Like, really impactful to see his face, and that maturity in this show where everything leading up has been very light and very comedic, which is good for the demographic for Disney Channel and all that stuff. But I love how it's grown. I love where it's going.
Yeah, I do too. Definitely seeing that crossover. I didn't expect that right away. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like I wish it would happen sooner. But
maybe at least that one episode where it really started connecting to the movie was the core episode where Poe and Kaz find all those like prototype Starkiller bases.
Yes,
with a core mined out.
Yes,
that was awesome.
That was pretty awesome.
So good hint at things to come.
It was cool. Poe mentioned about going to Jakku.
Yeah,
and so it was really neat. I'm curious for season 2 because it seems like it's kind of weird a little bit that they're just flying through hyperspace now. They don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much they're actually going to be part of, depending on if and maybe we find out at Celebration or not, but depending on how long of a gap is between 8 and 9.
Yeah.
This will start probably taking place between those movies. Mm-hmm. So there probably may not be an overlap. I don't know. I mean, somehow after episode 8, there's got to be a resistance buildup again. Mm-hmm. And you would think that this would be the group if they're going to do that. Definitely. I don't know. Are they all going to join the resistance? That's the one thing this season I was surprised about. I feel like we never got to know the aces. And we mentioned this before.
Yeah.
As well as it was marketed that they were going to be a part of the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was really, truly more about Yeager's shop in Tam and
Niku.
Yeah. So it was less about the aces. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Maybe we get more of that in season 2. And, mm-hmm. I'm completely, blank on where they go in season 2.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was thinking, they're going to Dakar, right? They were going to Dakar.
They were
first.
planning on it.
So I kept thinking, like, oh, this is gonna be so cool. They're gonna get there, and they're gonna see the decimation of the planet.
Yeah,
and then it's gonna end there. It's like, oh, well, the resistance to them is gone. So what are they gonna do now? But no, then
that would have been really cool.
Yeah,
actually.
suddenly then it's like, oh, I don't know where we're going. We're just gonna go someplace. It might be light years away. It might,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's interesting. Hope it's not like a Star Trek thing where they're gonna dump into some random alien system. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, there was big buildup about Phasma being on it. She was barely in it.
Mm-hmm.
Couple parts, but
no. But the characters they added, like Commander Pyre, and I forget the red
the commander
trooper.
Yeah, the red trooper. Yeah,
I forgot his name, but they're cool characters. I think they did a great job.
Yeah, it was good, really good. So we will. I don't know if the Resistance panel is on Monday. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I'm going to make that. But if I get the hankering, I'll hang out there.
I'll stick around.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. Okay, so that's really it. We'll get into a little bit of episode 1, like we talked about. I wanted to just briefly talk about what because we had the luxury, which we kind of do this time too, but we had the luxury of a 13-hour drive when we drove down to Orlando. Yeah. Thinking about thinking about what we're going to anticipate, what we're going to see. Now, the first panel we knew going into Celebration in Orlando was the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. And I remember we had talked about, who's going to show up or what's going to happen. Is George going to be there? We kind of assumed he would be there. I truly had no idea Harrison Ford was going to show up, to be honest. But anyway, so I'm a little surprised. That they pushed episode 1 anniversary panel to the very end.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been maybe a Saturday or Sunday at least. I'm actually surprised about Galaxy's Edge, to be honest. I thought Mandalorian would be Saturday.
Yeah.
Episode 1 would be Monday, and maybe something like Galaxy's Edge would be. Yeah. I thought that would be just like a daytime thing or something.
Yeah,
there must be something big coming with Galaxy's Edge. Really,
everybody's getting free tickets. What? That'll be huge. Yeah, I mean, you know what? The sad truth is, maybe they thought they would have to spread it out to keep everybody the whole weekend. But
yeah, that's true.
In that sense, man, they should have done Mandalorian on Monday.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Monday.
People would definitely have stayed Monday.
Yeah, then because Phantom Menace, that's still not favored amongst a lot of fans. So maybe they thought we'll put it Monday because no one's going to be there. Yeah. I don't know. That would be a sad truth, but
I'm telling you, I feel like okay. So let's get into what do you think will happen in that 1 hour of episode 1 panel? Like who shows up? What do they talk? What do they do? What do they show?
So we know for a fact it's going to be Ian McDiarmid. They've actually announced from who we already know is going to be at Celebration who will be on the panel. So Ian McDiarmid, Ahmed Best, Captain Panaka, actor, Ray Park, some of the crew. So like Doug Chain will be on there, John Knoll, some of the other people making up the film. But I think George Lucas, I mean, is going to be there. Definitely. Jake Lloyd is usually at celebrations, so maybe he just doesn't want to go to a panel. I don't know.
I haven't heard an announcement of him.
Yeah. Usually he's there, but
he is usually there.
Man, freaking Ewan McGregor's got to be there. Come on. We all want it to happen.
Sam Jackson?
I think. I don't know if Liam Neeson, because it was great to see Liam Neeson's video from the 40th anniversary panel. But,
that's right.
I can see something like that happening again. Sam Jackson.
Yeah, doing videos.
Yeah,
that's
Sam
true.
Jackson's still pretty busy of an actor. So
well, he's got to be on the press tour for Endgame.
During this time, definitely. Yeah. I would think. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's definitely not going to be able to make it unless they're still in the States.
Yeah.
No, he might be able to swing by that Monday.
That's a good point. But Ewan McGregor, dude. I mean, maybe the only thing is maybe they're not going to bring Ewan McGregor just because people are going to be screaming for him to be on Obi-Wan's show. I don't know.
I'm with you. I think he's a video. I think there's a video of Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
I think Ewan McGregor, Liam Neeson, and Natalie Portman. Yeah. I feel like they can get videos of them.
Well, I mean, are they still shooting the Harley Quinn movie with Ewan McGregor?
Oh, yeah.
He's in
DC's. That's right. DC is shooting that right now.
So he might be on that right now because they did a little
he's playing Black Mask, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
They did somewhat of a teaser earlier in the year.
Yeah.
But they had barely started shooting, so I imagine they're in the thick of it right now.
No, they're definitely shooting because there was a scene. There's a confirmation that Joker's in it also, but they don't show his face.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which is not Jared Leto, obviously. But you're right. So if he's in the middle of production on that,
Liam Neeson's probably shooting 5 movies right now.
Yeah, Nick, he's
always busy.
Sam Jackson's doing press for Endgame. Mm-hmm. Portman, who knows what she's doing? She's doing a movie probably.
Man, if she showed up to what a response she would get, especially at this time in the Star Wars community right now.
She would get a massive.
Gosh, that would
I'm hoping that one of them does show up.
Yeah,
I'm predicting that someone will. I feel like someone will be there that we don't expect to be
Yeah,
there.
not counting George Lucas.
Not counting George. No,
Come on, he's got to be there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think God, totally forgive me for saying this. No, he's still alive. McCallum's still alive, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Gary Kurtz is the one that passed.
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Yeah, so McCallum, I wouldn't be surprised if McCallum shows up.
That'd be really cool. I don't think John Williams will show up. Maybe, but that would be a big surprise.
He's scoring episode 9.
Yeah, no, that's right. He's working.
But he could, because again, he was there for
the 40th. But that was pretty huge. So maybe not this one.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't know. I can think like just other smaller characters like Kitster.
Yeah,
because he did the Star Wars show.
Anthony Daniels.
He's already there. Yeah. So
Peter Mayhew may show up. I don't know, but he's not in episode 1. Never mind. He's not in episode 1. Unfortunately, Kenny Baker won't be there.
Mm-hmm.
Kitster could possibly be. Yeah. What about Pernilla August? Shmi Skywalker? Maybe. She could show up.
But that's pretty much it. We kind of just my hopes are already. We kind of ruled out my high
Warwick
hopes.
Davis, he was obviously in it.
Yeah, he can be there.
He'll be there. He'll be moderating. So, but I think. But what do you think? I mean, what's besides the people there? What do you think they do? I mean, do you think there's nothing? I don't know. Do you what can you show? That's I don't know what you can show. I mean,
you could do a little
like the 40th anniversary. There was, oh gosh,
there was the Carrie Fisher.
There was definitely the Carrie Fisher thing, but wasn't there like a behind the scenes thing that they showed?
I mean, besides the Carrie Fisher video.
Of the original making. No, there wasn't.
I don't think so. But he had a lot of guests though.
Yeah, he did have a lot of guests.
Most of that was just welcoming the guests and everybody freaking out and.
But see that being the 40th anniversary, you had other non-original trilogies.
Yeah,
you had Hayden and
Yeah.
Ian came out. So you had, I mean, it was more of a celebration for George than it was the 40th anniversary. It was, you know, it was bringing back George, having all these people come back, and Harrison shows up, you know.
I can see them spending a lot of time, honestly, on Ahmed Best and talking about him and Jar Jar.
You're right.
And his story. Then talking about George Lucas and if he shows up and having him talk and all that. But I know Doug Chiang actually has a good history with that. That was like one of his first introductions to Star Wars and kind of helping the visual look of it all. So maybe talking with him because now he's one of the creative executives of Lucasfilm.
Mm-hmm.
Rick McCallum would be pretty cool too. That'd be pretty huge.
Yes. I wonder if there's going to be. There's got to be some kind of cast surprise, and then I think there's got to be some kind of announcement. I don't know what it is.
I can't even begin to.
Got to be some kind of announcement. I mean, it's got to be some kind of either something with. Something maybe with Ray Park and Maul. I mean, something with Obi-Wan. I don't know. You know, it's like. I definitely think there's going to be what's really neat is I hope there's going to be some kind of exclusive material, you know, exclusive merchandise.
Merchandising.
That some poster or something that we'll get.
Yeah. Now, if Ewan McGregor has a video, could that be where they somewhat announce an Obi-Wan thing?
That's what I'm saying.
Like he's on set.
I've been saying that forever.
Yeah, he's on set. But like through a video, you would think that's a little so informal to just make a big announcement.
Yeah.
But maybe he kind of alludes to it. Like, I don't know, maybe we'll see Obi-Wan again later down the road. Something like that. I don't know. Some little nugget.
Gosh. Yeah. That would be awesome. So anyway, that's our episode 1 prediction to see what I'm looking forward to it though. You know, as we get into episode 1 this month, what's your overall feelings of episode 1? Now we did a commentary, so if you guys want to Go check that out. Please check that out on our YouTube channel. We did a commentary of it a couple years ago as we were leading up to episode 8. But what's your? I mean, as time has gone by, and now it is 20 years. What do you think about it?
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's moved, up on my list. It's not the bottom of my list. I think I've consistently had it second to last for a while now. I think it's still there. But I've always liked it. I mean, maybe it's just because it's a generational thing. Although there's a lot of guys my age who don't like it. Mm-hmm. I've always loved it from the moment I saw it. I mean, I was well aware of Star Wars before that, and I was, had Star Wars birthday parties before that movie came out. So leading up to it, I was very excited. I remember seeing it twice in theaters. I got all the toys and everything. So I've always been very much a fan of the film. I definitely see its flaws now, but I still like it a lot. And not just because of the Darth Maul fight at the end. I mean, a lot of people think that's the only redeemable thing about it. I totally get now. It's very political, but I totally get it now. Honestly, with time, I respect it even more and appreciate it even more as its piece in the whole saga, counting Clone Wars, counting everything.
Agreed.
You would think that a movie should stand good on on its own. It does. It has its flaws, but it's still a good movie. But no, with time, I definitely appreciate it more. But like I just said, it's not higher on my list, but I'm still a fan. I like it a lot. It's a good movie.
Yeah, no, I think it's I think it tells that it introduces us to that story, those stories of the Jedis as the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy, things that have been alluded to, things that have been told in books and stuff like that. Now we're actually getting to see it. That's why I'm gonna always be for any time period right before episode 1, hundreds of years before episode 1, where you've got basically a master and apprentice that goes out on missions and to put the galaxy right, to keep it safe. And those are the stories I look forward to. Hopefully they get into that kind of stuff with maybe the Benioff and Weiss, the rumors now about that being said, somewhere around 1,000 years before, which is around the time of Darth Bane. Or they said it might be just a few hundred years before episode 1. I don't know. So, but we'll see. That could be announced Celebration. I think episode 1 is in the end, I think after episode 9 comes out, I am truly leaning towards the fact that I feel like JJ is truly going to sum up the entire saga, and 1, 2, and 3 will become maybe a little bit more relevant, to the whole saga, and just how that little boy became Vader and that whole story. And I think getting that book, Master and Apprentice, is going to make it even more prominent because of the storyline between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and just good stories. I'm more towards. I've always said this. I'm more towards the Force and the Jedi part of Star Wars than I am about the Civil War and the battles and all that stuff. I like the Force aspect of things, and I definitely want to see more of that. So. So I episode 1, you're right. I mean, it's still just low on the totem pole, I think, as far as the movie rankings, but there's definitely parts of that movie I really, really love. And I have a little bit more appreciation for it because of Queen Shadow. Okay. It's really neat because knowing what the handmaidens mean and do.
Right. Yeah.
They're not just there to walk, escort her. They are trained. Like they know how to defend themselves. They know how to defend her. It's really neat what they have to go. I mean, honestly, it was so cool to think that they are basically first order stormtroopers. Like they're bred,
yeah.
or not bred, but they're raised a way
Mm-hmm.
to protect, to mimic, to almost stand in as the queen. You know, it's pretty crazy. So, pretty neat. I just want to watch it just to watch those things because
with that perspective.
Yeah.
And that's what you hope, and that's what we always praise about those stories here on the show is, and the movies, how it alters your perspective of the stories that are already out there. But that's the hope of what happens when they all connect, they all build on each other.
Yeah. And I know you can say this about every Star Wars movie prior to Episode 7. You know, when I watch any of these superhero movies or any of these CG heavy movies, like complete side note, but like with Godzilla, like that's Godzilla coming out like that looks incredible, you know, and it's like, but it's all fake, but it looks so real now. What I'm getting at is that you watch Episode 1, that was in the infancy of CG animation. Like it had kind of just broken through with Jurassic Park in '94, which is when Lucas decided, okay, now I'm ready to do it. And you know, it wasn't until '96. It was about 3 years later he started shooting Episode 1, started working on the CG. It's like, I mean, you can tell now, 20 years later, that you know it looks CG'd, but it's hard to imagine, like, God, if they did that movie now, like a lot of that stuff, I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell, you know? I mean, I watched Infinity War, and
I was just about to say,
you know, when they're in New York, I mean, you can't tell.
Well, Thanos alone.
Yeah.
Because there are parts of Infinity War, well, maybe sometimes I can notice it. I think I notice it, but the detail with Thanos, it's almost like they spent more time rendering out detail in Thanos more than anybody else that was CG. But to think, again, go back to Jar Jar. Just think of how realistic they can make Jar Jar look.
Yes.
The texture of his skin, little hair follicles, like they did with Thanos. That sells. That sells him as a character, makes him real and believable.
That's right.
How much stock you put into that, but.
Yeah, that's right.
But if Jar Jar if he just looked a little more real in that respect, if he was rendered with more detail, then maybe people would be more behind it. I don't know. I hate having to be an apologetic of Jar Jar like that, but people use that as a crux a lot for Episode 1, where it's like, well, if that was out, then would you like the movie? But I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of ranting a little bit.
But it's also, I think it's safe to say that Infinity War looks that good because of Episode 1. Because of everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of the advancements in technology that ILM and those guys did. That's incredible. So anyway, we'll talk more about Episode 1 throughout the month. What our plan is going forward right now, before we get to Celebration, we're going to do one more show. We're going to bring the guys that are going with us onto the show, Cody and Corey, because we're all traveling up there on next Thursday. We're going to do one more show where we kind of do our little like anticipation. We're going to talk about, like, hey, here's what we expect to see at Celebration and blah, 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 and then get a little hyped for it. So we'll do that on the next show. You'll get that one prior to us leaving. And then, of course, we will do our show Saturday, April 13th at 4 o'clock at the podcast stage. Please come and join us. We've got all kinds of giveaways to give out. Got some cool things to talk about. Of course, I mean, Episode 9, Galaxy's Edge. What's the other thing on Saturday?
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. I mean, those are big, big things that we're of course, going to talk about. And unfortunately, we only got 45 minutes, short minutes to do it. So come see us. Of course, we're going to make it to we look forward to doing the podcast meetup afterwards that night.
Yep, absolutely.
Kind of meet everybody and just keep talking Star Wars all weekend. I mean, it's going to be a fantastic, fun trip. So looking forward to it. Again, so I've been to almost all of them except the first two, and this is like this is just every Star Wars fan's. I don't know.
It's
Adventure.
It's pretty much the mecca of it. But
it is.
I mean, when Galaxy's Edge comes out, then that's almost going to be the real mecca. But yeah,
yeah. It's really neat. But the best part about Celebration is getting all this exclusive news and stuff like that, and figuring out getting told. It's fun because everybody's revealed at the same time there. You know what I mean? And you're experiencing it with everybody that. All in one place, so it's great. Hope to see you there. Come say hey to us. You will be able to identify us because we're going to wear some shirts that we've got. I'm going to tweet them out as soon as I get these shirts. My wife's actually making them for us. So we are going to sport some Inside the Force shirts. All right, guys, we appreciate you. Thanks for listening. If you're getting there, if you're going to Chicago, have safe travels. We will see you there. For Case Cooley.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. And hate leads to suffering. I sense much fear in you. I can probably do that actually as Yoda since my voice is really scratchy right now. But I'm not going to make it worse by trying. Episode 1, man.
And that is my goal. I don't know if I mentioned that. My goal. One of my goals. For Star Wars Celebration, I want to find a Yoda lightsaber.
Okay.
That's what I want in my office at work.
All right. That's it.
Yeah, that's one of my goals.
So shall it be. Yeah.
One of my goals. Thanks, everybody. Take care. InsideTheForce.com. Check us out. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Thanks for listening. He's Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave. May the Force be with you.